Hey, what's up, guys? Jake here from Popical Productions today, bringing you another short-form battle report, 2,000 point mission, Tau versus Death Guard. Today, we're playing mission number 23. I don't know the name, but I completely forgot. So this background picture is my veteran cadre crisis suit team. When I took these pictures, these like stock photos, I originally thought I was going to bring 9 crisis suits in it, so I actually brought my commander in crisis suits, my two crisis suit commanders that I had with them. As well, I'm just going to play with them. As you can see, one's a paint in progress and the other one's here. These are both my commanders, but my crisis suit battle team is here, and they're my veteran. So usually in my army, when it comes to the suits, only the sergeants have the flags. But since this is my veteran cadre, they all have flags, all 6 of these guys. But yeah, today I actually only ended up taking 3. I ended up tweaking my list and deciding against taking 9 crisis suits in a unit like that. So my army for today is here kind of laid out. A few points on the mission before we kind of dive into armies and secondaries and all that good stuff and deployment. It's 5 objectives. It's score, hold 2, hold 3. So hold 2 for 5, hold 3 for 10, and hold more for 15. So basically you're either scoring 5 a turn or 15 a turn. There's only 5 objectives. We have 2 right here, 1 in the center, and 2 right there. Another note on these bastions right here and this building in the center is that we're playing them as buildings. So if you like walk an inch into them, you occupy the building. It's a new rule I learned. And basically, if you're touching it and somebody charges you, like they can touch the other side of it and still fight you. So very weird, very new mechanics to me. Kind of play dividends in the game a bit, but they'll come up when they come up, and I'll kind of explain it. So we'll go over my opponent's list first. They have 2 foul blight drones, one with the flamers, and I'm going to totally get all these names wrong, and one with the lawnmower. 4 characters, like a foul blight spawn here. I don't know the other one with the bell here. And I think this is another flamer character. I think these are both 2 flamer characters. And then a sorcerer, so 4 characters on this side. A unit of 7 plague marines, one with a relic dagger that the Death Guard have. A hell brute, or basically a dreadnought, a Death Guard dreadnought. And 3 Death Shroud Terminators with the relic on the sergeant. The deployments, by the way, are super weird. You can see the dice marking them out. Got a unit of 10 Poxwalkers here, and another unit of 10 Poxwalkers in the Rhino. Got a unit of 5 Space Marines with the special weapons, like a Melta and a Plasma, Typhus, and 2 of these walking drones with Meltas and missile pods. And then finally this tank that I hate. I hate him. Addis, Lanacite, Mortar, and the 2 last cannon type guns on the side, as well as like a little minigun to shoot characters. My deployment, as you can see here, a note about this proxy for the transport. I actually just, as the time of recording this video, have the proxy for the transport, or excuse me, the actual transport came in, and I built it right before recording this, and then I'll spray it, paint it, and be good to go, and no more proxy. Commander Farsight can go back on the shelf until I actually want to play Commander Farsight. It's just kind of a little side note. So I got 3 Devilfish with 10 breachers in each. One of them has just the 10. The other 2 have, on the left and right here, 10 plus 2 drones, marker drones of course. Got a Cadre Fireblade, as well as 2 stealth suits and 1 Firesight marksman in this Viola battalion detachment, and a commander. Then in the Farsight detachment, 2 commanders. They're all 3 of them are cold stars with 4 fusion. A unit of broadsides with 6 marker drones. And they have the magma rail rifles and smart missile systems. Magma rails are the relic rail rifle, strength 9, minus 4 or 5 AP, d6 damage. And if I roll a 1 or 2 on the damage, it becomes 3. But in this game, it's minus 1 because the Death Guard across the board, so it kind of sucks. It was 2 the whole time. And then finally, I have a unit of 5 breachers in that patrol detachment. They're my special operations breachers. For infantry, what I do is the sergeants, instead of having a flag, they're helmetless. But since this is like my elite unit that usually gets me my Octarius data, they all have their helmets off. As you can see, one has a little robotic arm. And yeah, I'm just filling you guys in on the lore of my army a little bit here in the fluff that I have my head cannon. Stealth suits just have burst cannons, by the way. And then finally, my crisis suit team is 3 crisis suits, veteran cadres, so 3s to hit. They have 2 cyclic ion rakers, or cyclic ion blasters, which are 3 shots apiece, so 6 per model. Minus 2 AP because I have advanced targeting system. Strength 8 because I always overcharge D3 damage. And I put them up in deep strike. Oh, with a unit of 4 Vespid. I'm always forgetting stuff. So kind of new, different list. First time I've run veteran cadre without a unit of 6. I'm running them in a unit of 4. So very interesting, kind of nerve-wracking, but yeah, hopefully it works out. So we'll go over objectives real quick and an empty scores card. I took engage on all fronts, retrieve Octarius data, and to the last. I made a mistake during the game, and I told my opponent it was 2 of my commanders, but in fact it was my crisis suit unit and 1 of my commanders and the broadsides. I knew it was the broadsides, my opponent knew it was the broadsides, and actually they ended up to spoil it, killing my crisis suit team, so I actually scored 5 less points. Retrieve Octarius data. It's the mission. It would be my stealth suits and my special operations breachers team carrying that. And to the last, we've already talked about. They took Spread the Sickness, which is an action that their characters and troops can do on an objective once they control it. No Prisoners, which is a tally. Every model they kill is a point, and every time they hit 10, that's 1 victory point. And for my transports, basically alone, when they kill that, it's 10 counts as like 12 models as opposed to, or however many wounds it has, as opposed to 1 point. So it's basically kill points. And then Assassinate, because I brought like 6 characters, I think. Yeah, 3 commanders, 3 marker light characters. So I got first turn. We can look at my deployment. I'm kind of here. My lines were like up this way, and the stealth suits deployed outside. I send my Devilfish up this way, and the last time the building rule will be important, besides kind of weird movement stuff happening that you'll just notice, is that since the objectives are in the building, if I touch it with this vehicle, and this vehicle is fly, I control that objective is what we said. My vehicle was in 3 of it anyways, so right now basically I tag both these objectives, and my stealth suits up this way, move over here, and grab this objective. And during my movement I also start Octarius data, which I'll get. My magma rails expose themselves. They deployed KG over here, as well as my marker light characters, and they shoot their magma rails in an epic miss target against the Death Shroud Terminators, as opposed to popping the Hell Brute was the biggest mistake, or this Bloatrome. I should have shot at either of those, and I end up only killing 1 Death Shroud Terminator. You can see his base over there. And yeah, so super uneventful turn 1. For me, my opponent moves and advances up. Because of the way the building works, you can see that the Death Shrouds and the characters kind of moved up super far because they can touch the building, get in, and then kind of move to the front of it without having to count for movement. 2 of the characters are over here sitting on the objective. Or I think this is the Plague Surgeon is what it is. I think it said it was a second Foul Blight spawn, but it's actually a Plague Surgeon. Poxwalkers move up this way. Transport moves up this way. 2 units of Plague Marines, and this blob moves up this way. The other 2 characters and the Sorcerer are back here, so the Sorcerer and the Bell guy. Yeah, and Typhus and the kind of scary bulk of the army moves over to the left flank. Shooting takes both my Devilfish to low wounds, so kind of tough situation for me there, but that's about all that happens. So super uneventful turn 1. They get 3 points for spreading the sickness, or I don't think they do actually. Or no, I think the Terminators spread it on that turn, so I think they get 3. I know I know what my opponent got at the end of the game. And it does play along with what goes on here, so it might not be exactly the turns when I say they score, but I know that how many they score. So they get 3 for spreading the sickness. I do a 4th of retrieve Octarius data, and that is the end of a super slow turn 1. I believe it's like that because of how wide the deployment zones are and how slow the Death Guard are. So the start of my turn, I get 15, and this is actually post-movement phase. 15 for sitting on these 3 objectives, and my opponent only sitting on 2. And I also do my second retrieve Octarius data over here. And I get 2 points for engage, because I advance this Devilfish as a blocker up this way to kind of block these guys from coming out. I send 2 of my commanders over here, and I deep strike in my Crisis battle suits. my veteran cadre now, and I shoot at what I should have used them to shoot at these death shrouds instead, and waited to shoot with these guys because they did enough damage to kill like 4 death shrouds, and instead use them to kill this hellbrute. But now I'm gonna fix that error during my shooting phase. Oh, by the way, my third commander stayed back to give these guys rerolls to wound. I delete the hellbrute. I delete the death shrouds, and then my 2 characters snipe the plague surgeon and the foul blight spawn off that objective. And that's the majority of my shooting. My opponent's response on the bottom of turn 2 is to move up this unit of 7, or it was 7 plague marines, but I think I shot my smart missiles in him and killed 1 or 2, and this drone over this way, and really puts pressure on my left flank, dropping off the poxwalkers coming over here. I believe that they do spread the sickness with this unit right here, which completes during their turn. These space marines come over here with typhus, and yeah, I'm running low on drones because they've been kind of shooting at me with that mortar, trying to kill these guys over here. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Shooting phase, they shoot the 2 las cannons over here, plus this drone, blow up this transport, kill 4 people. I roll 4 ones on the dismount, so I kill the 2 drones, as you kind of see over here, my death pile, and 2 breachers. So basically these guys kind of get out, move over here to stay on the objective. That was really all that happened during the shooting phase. Movement or charge phase, basically all these marines make a charge, the sorcerer makes a charge, and the drone makes a charge. They kill my devilfish, and I think the plague marines come and tag the unit of 10 breachers. I think I lose 1 on the way out, as well as this rhino came and tagged this devilfish just to kind of help contest the objective more. So yeah, bottom of the turn, I get 15. I get 2 for engage on all fronts, and I can complete my second round of retrieve Octarius data. My opponent gets 6 for spread the sickness, and unfortunately, during their turn, since I wiped them off that right objective, they were only on 1, and they scored nothing for primary. So my turn, I take these units of breachers, I spread them out to tag this objective and claim it. I think during their shooting phase, they killed one of my 3 crisis suits. I move them up over here to shoot at the plague marines, and hopefully get a chance to expose it to my fusion and kill the sorcerer. I move these breachers out to clear my opponent off the center objective, and I drop these Vespid in to get my third Octarius data and to kind of keep engage more secure. Also, they expose their mortar truck thing on the last turn, so I'm going to shoot at it with my magma rails, and that's why I keep this commander back here, because I do Kalyun and rerolls to hit and wound, basically Kalyun and the stratagem to kill that tank. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Tank, super resistant, the bane of my existence, 7 wounds, as well as these marines not dying to my veteran cadres, so I had to finish off the marines with my fusion commander, my Heisman, doing the Heisman, as well as killing this drone over here. Wiped the middle center objective, so super fun, and basically yeah, done my opponent there. This turn I scored 10 for primaries because I'm on 2 objectives. So yeah, make it so that my opponent, since this objective is now contested at best, my opponent is shut out on the primary again at the start of their turn. So at the start of their turn, spread the sickness over here and start kind of advancing towards this objective. So now my opponent's at 9 for spread the sickness. Pulled these 2 drones over here to get line of sight on my now slowly more defenseless broadsides, because the drones are running out. They only had 6 drones to protect them. Send this drone over here to kind of help thin this out. And this character walked up, as well as these marines are kind of walking closer to my veteran cadre. So combined arms fire and charging with the 2 characters, charged my breachers, killed none of the 2, killed my veteran cadre, so killing one of my 2 of the last, as well as these guys absolutely hosing my broadsides, leaving 1 remaining. So really kind of making me sweat to the last here on their turn, and really kind of the Death Guard slowly making their advance up the field. So as you can see, I got 10 for primary like we discussed. Retrieve Octarius data, I got 3, and engage, I got another 4. My opponent should be at 9 on Spread the Sickness now, but I'll fix that later in the slides. It'll come back. So beginning of my turn, I kind of swing these stealth suits around to be protective. At the beginning of my turn, I do score another 10 for being on 2 objectives, and I move these breachers into the building. And my evil plan is to shoot them off one of these 2 objectives, snipe the 2 characters, or shoot them off here. Yeah, let me look at it again. I might have shorted myself on it. Oops, excuse me. Whoops. No, I didn't. Don't worry. I thought I shorted myself on engage points. So yeah. Whoops. I'm all messed up. Excuse me, guys. There you go. My bad. So move up here. So the characters over here, since my opponent took Assassinate, I had 3 characters there, and my 1 broadside. I spend the rest of the game, I believe this is turn 2, advancing him into my back corner so they can't shoot at him anymore. So all I really have left is 2 guys over here, because they kind of did some shooting with the drones, and 2 stealth suits. So on this turn, my goal is basically to kill this unit and these 2 characters. And with my shooting, I whiff completely on the sorcerer, but kill the 1 character, and I wipe that objective, and I flip it over to my opponent. My opponent, or actually, hold up. No. My opponent basically charges these Plague Marines, or walks them up, and then will eventually charge with Typhus and the Plague Marines into this objective to take it. Pulls this transport over here to kind of play bumper cars, moves the bloat drum back to hold an objective, and pushes these guys out this way to kind of start wiping up and getting as many kill points as possible. So Psychic and Shooting basically does some wounds to my stealth suits, and then charging. My opponent was really hoping to kill this Devilfish, but charging, they kill all my breaches over here and wrap up my stealth suits. As you can see, I'm kind of stuck in this back corner. So right now in primary, I'm taking a pretty convincing lead at 35-0. Spread the Sickness, there I gave my opponent the 9 points. And Engage, since my Vespid is still alive, I got 6. So, I guess this is more. No, this is the fight phase. I screwed up my slides. Yeah, Typhus actually charges out this way and they kill this squad and kind of wipe me off. So, beginning of this turn, my primary, final turn, turn 5, I score none. I jumped my group of commanders back here, because remember at the time I thought they were keep them alive to the last commanders, and I wanted to blow this 7 wound remaining vehicle up, because it's been a huge pain kind of putting wounds across the board. I keep this over here. I really don't care if I'm going to lose it. There's really no saving it. And I'm trying to protect my now in the back corner units. These guys kind of moved up off the objective because it doesn't matter. I scored 0 primary on this point because I was killed off of this objective and these objectives, and I only held 1. So I want to kill this sorcerer just because. During the shooting phase, I believe, if I remember correctly, that I wasn't actually able to kill the sorcerer, but I was able to blow up that vehicle back there. I know it's kind of tough to see, and these guys are kind of hiding back there, so kind of okay shooting phase. Beginning of their turn. I didn't really take pictures near the end because I'd been there for a while, and I did a poor job of it. Beginning of their turn, they scored 15, right actually at the bottom. They had a lot of board control. My opponent is able to kill that Devilfish, obviously with all that stuff over there. Isn't able to get any shots over here with it. At some point they wiped my Vespid, I forgot to mention that, I think with the smites from the Sorcerer. And maybe just is able to kill some of the stuff over here. Goes into kill points, but besides the kill points and the kill points and the 15 for primary, my opponent isn't able to score much. So no prisoners. We ended up tallying it up, and my opponent scored 90 kill points on me, so 9 no prisoners, 3 objectives, got Spread the Sickness, and 15 for primary. Actually, in this count, I did my opponent dirty. I put 33 on the slides, but in fact, my opponent scored 43, because I counted us both as having fully painted armies. It's what I like to do in these battle reports, because they're practice games, and obviously if we both showed up to tournaments, we'd both be fully painted, even though both our armies weren't finished. Funny enough, their army was probably better painted and more finished, more completely painted than mine. So I didn't mean to scuff them like that. They actually scored 43. At the end of the game, as a correction to what I said to my opponent in person, I actually scored 10 to the last, 8 on retrieve Octarius data, 8 engage on all fronts, because I got it 4 turns in a row. On that last turn when all my commanders moved, I was able to grab it while my devilfish was still alive. So I got 2 points for 4 turns. Retrieve Octarius data, I got it in the first 3 turns, so it's another 8, and then 35 on primary. Super good game. I was super worried about it, but however, I was able to kind of build a big lead with the early board control. My opponent was super good. This area has a lot of new players, and my opponent is one of them. However, they were very knowledgeable about their rules and willing to explain stuff to me because it'd been probably 2 years since I played Death Guard. Great opponent, super friendly, super nice, and would actually spend the time to look up their rules if they didn't know it. And even if it was something marginal that would marginally put them at a disadvantage, maybe one of their characters didn't have a feel no pain. I would just be roll it. It's a practice game for the sake of time, roll it. And I like having stuff that puts me at a slight disadvantage. But they would look it up and make sure everything they did was fair. And all in all, played a super tight game. Yeah, so really, really good job on my opponent. Had a super neat game and well organized, fun game. I actually, funny enough, the last 3 missions I played are so happen to be the 3 missions that'll be played at this RTT I plan on going to near the end of October. And so for battle reports, kind of be on that subject, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get one out this upcoming weekend because I'm going home for break, so I don't think I'll be able to play a game while I'm there. I think I'll spend time. There's a small chance I get a game. I do a meetup and get a game, but it doesn't look likely. And if I do, it'll be a bonus. And then the weekend after that, I'm going to try to get a game here, back at school. And then the weekend after that is when the tournament is. So hopefully I'll be able to get you, hopefully I'll end up attending it, and I'll be able to get you guys 3 solid games of competitive Warhammer 40k. But yeah, for the time being, that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed. As you can see this last picture here, this is my Crisis Commander. Just kind of more army fluff, and this is one of my ethereals. This is one of them that's more support based, so we'll usually sit back with my broadsides, and I'll give them through Unity Devastation, and they'll be fire support. You can see it has a tactical patch there, probably with some fire support reference cards. And this ethereal, I have 4, is telling my commander what to do. This is one of my 3 commanders. So in this mission, I was pretending like they were in the Cold Stars. In my fluff, I only have 3, and this commander has inverted colors. So when I paint that model on the tabletop, I'm going to paint the Cold Star with inverted colors. And if you read in the Tau Codex, they talk about how the commanders have inverted colors for, great battles and great deeds to honor them, basically. It's a sign of honor. So I painted this commander with inverted colors to show its status as a veteran commander within my force. And, one of the commanders and one of the Tau in the whole army that's seen the most battle. So yeah, it's just some more fluff. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the battle report, and I'll hopefully catch you next week. If not, I'll catch you at some point. But have a wonderful day. Peace.